Hello. In this demo, I will impersonate a data analyst. I'll guide you through what it looks like for someone using any analytics tools like Tableau, Power BI, Click, or MicroStrategy to be able to find relevant information about a dashboard and also find relevant information that could possibly enhance their dashboard experience. On this example, I'll be using Tableau. So as an analyst, my boss asked me why we had an underperform by 15% in Texas. Usually my next action would be to reach out to a colleague, a friend, or someone that might have some other information and try to figure out why we had such performance in Texas. And the problem is that we don't know, or I won't be able to tell if that data is it can be trusted or not. Data is everywhere, like we know about this, but data that we can trust, it's something that is a little bit harder to capture. Now, I remember that recently IT provided me access to this tool called Arena. So let's take a look at that. In Arena, I can basically search for that same dashboard name that I was using in Tableau. And then here, it would actually give me a few objects that I'm looking at right now. The first one being actually the executive overview. This is basically a link to my online dashboard that my boss just shared with me. It also has some extra information, like for example, some entities or some other objects that are related to this dashboard. And besides having the owner of this dashboard as well. All right, let's go back to this search. And interesting enough, I actually can, from a click of a button, I can actually look at all of the project plan that we have used to actually build this dashboard. So if I want to take a look at the Smartsheet, for example, I can click and then this will give me all of the details on who was working on where at what part during the project plan. The next object that also got my attention is actually the business requirements to actually build this dashboard. So similar to what we saw for the Smartsheet for the project plan, I can click of a button and now have all of the information about the business requirement that we use to actually build this dashboard. Now, the most interesting part is that everything that I need to better understand my dashboard and maybe understand better the data, it's all available for me from one search inside Arena. Now, if I'm trying to figure out what happened in Texas, what I might be doing is actually use a new set of data. And then for that, one of the things that I see that are related to this data is the customer buying pattern. So if I open this entity, the first thing that I see is that this is the details or like the basic information about this customer buying pattern entity. Starting from the bottom here where we have the technical owner, so I know that if I have a technical question, I can reach out to Ben. If I have a business question, I would reach out to Annie. And if I have a data steward question, I'm going to reach out to Gaurav. So Arena gives you attributes that would explain the data or give the more information about the data to your users. Now, if I'm trying to figure out if this is the right data, the next thing I would do is actually take a look at the lineage of this data. So all of the history. And as we can see here, if I just expand, it tells me that it's coming from a CRM system and then a POS system. And then there's a join right here. And then the user, the data steward, actually clean up the data, build the entity that I'm looking at right now. And if I want, I can go all the way down to the actual report or the actual dashboard link that we can be using. And all of that is available, again, with a click of a button. So if I want to see, for example, this entity, it will also give me the hyperlink that I can go back to my workflow and do further investigation. All right, this looks like the data that I need. So let's take a look at the preview of this data. Okay, cool. So here I have the customer information. So the product, what usually they buy, their facility that they're located, how much they usually spend at the store, the customer first and last name, loyalty number. So this looks like the data that I need. So I'm gonna go ahead and then add this to my shopping cart. Now, a little bit that I know about Texas is that it can be very hot in the summer, and they can also get a few inches of snow every winter. So weather is something that is also important for me. So let's take a look at this weather details, which it should have the information that I have. And it's interesting enough, it's actually getting the information from a REST API action. All right, I'll just go ahead and add this to my shopping cart. Okay, now that I found two new data that I could be using on my dashboard, the next thing that I have to do is basically go through the provisioning wizard process, where usually you would give it a name. You can also select different options, for example, as data lease duration. The next is you gotta choose the destination, where you wanna see this data, where do you wanna use this data. As I'm familiar with MySQL, I'm gonna select a MySQL, since we also have a connection already created. I'm gonna use that one to where I wanna land this data. From this page, I can actually see all of the, like an overview of all of my selections. I can hit submit. And then what happens behind the scene is we would create a ticket on the company ticketing system. And then after we create the ticket, and someone will have to approve. So here's an example of how that would look like. This is an automated message on behalf of Mo Ambassador, and then requesting the access to this data and with the destination where I'm gonna send this data to. Now, upon approval, as you can see here, it got approved. Now I can actually go back to Tableau and add a new connection. Connect to that same environment. And then this would actually show me all of the data that I have just provisioned to the MySQL instance. Now, after this point, I can add those data sets to my dashboard and enhance my visualizations. Thank you.